WCBI News at 10 starts now.
A homicide investigation is underway in Oxford. Thank you for joining us tonight. I'm Cash Matlock.
And I'm Jory Talley. Oxford police say they found one person dead at a home. Officers responded to a call from a home on Suncrest Street at 2 this afternoon. Police say the Mississippi Bureau of Investigation has been called in to help with the ongoing investigation. We'll have more on this case as more information becomes available.
One person is dead after two cars crash in Lee County. It happened this afternoon on County Road 300. The Lee County Sheriff's Department says one car had 4 passengers, including 3 children and the driver who was killed. 2 of the children were airlifted to Le Bonheur and one was taken to NMMC in Tupelo. The department says one car was traveling west and the other was traveling east. One of the cars went into the oncoming lane and struck the other car head on. The accident is still under investigation.
Columbus police continue to look for an armed robbery suspect. Chief Fred Shelton says it happened outside near the Family Dollar on Main Street Saturday afternoon. Shelton says a person was confronted by a black male armed with a pocket knife demanding money. He says the suspect took a small amount of money and then fled on foot. Luckily, no one was injured during the incident. If you have any information on this robbery, call Golden Triangle Crime Stoppers at 1-800-530-7151. Well, today marks the end of National Police Week.
State troopers from Troop G in Starkville honored their fallen brothers today with 5 different wreath-laying ceremonies across the area. In Ackerman, friends and family of Trooper Bobby Wells Jr. came together in remembrance.
It's hard to believe that it's been since 1995, 24 years. And it feels like it was just yesterday if we think about it.
Jan Wells has been coping with the loss of her brother for over 2 decades. She says she comes to the memorial every year with her mother, Edna Wells, but this year her mother has fallen ill and Jan has to bear the pain alone.
It's kind of hard on me to come down here by myself, but I know God is with me and my mother's with me and Bubba's with me, and of course our daddy, he's up in heaven with Bubba.
Many troopers were also in attendance. Some of them knew Trooper Wells personally and shared their stories of him.
Probably a lot of people don't ever get to have a true friend, but if he was your friend, he was your friend.
For those in attendance, today's ceremonies serve as an unfortunate reminder.
It serves as a reminder to us, just remember the price that we pay to live in freedom, to live in a state of law and order. Requires sacrifice sometimes. So it's a reminder to all these guys out here that the ultimate price, could be called upon you doing your job and your duties as a trooper, as an officer, any law enforcement officer in the state.
It means a lot for them to remember the law enforcement that was killed in the line of duty. Even though it's been 24 years, I'm just glad that that they remember him every year because he was such a great guy and he paid the ultimate price.
As for Trooper Wells, his memory and legacy won't end with National Police Week. Instead, they'll live on through the community he served.
Every time I mention his name to some Starkville person, they always remember him being such a great guy and just loved to cut up and laugh, and he was just an all-around likable person.
Troop G held 4 other memorial ceremonies today in Eupora, Starkville, Louisville, and West Point. It's time now to take a first look at our forecast with meteorologist Jacob Riley. Jacob, how's it looking out there?
Hey there, Cash. Not too bad right now in downtown Columbus. Currently sitting at 71 degrees. Those winds here out of the southeast around 6 miles an hour. Not too shabby night out there for most of us. We do have some showers out back towards the Interstate 55 corridor. Those are quickly collapsing as they're pushing on off to the east. That pattern will continue as we go throughout the rest of the overnight hours tonight. Could see a few more showers before midnight tonight, but after that things do begin to dry up. Coming up a little later in the show, I'll let you know when those rain chances come to an end and when those temperatures warm into the 90s.
Hundreds protest Alabama's abortion ban at the state capitol. The Associated Press says hundreds of demonstrators marched to the Capitol in Montgomery today to protest the state's new abortion ban. Protesters chanted, "My body, my choice," and "Vote them out" during the rally. The march comes just days after Governor Kay Ivey signed the near-total abortion ban into law. will be the country's most restrictive abortion law and is set to go into effect in 6 months. The law bans abortion in almost all cases unless the mother's health is at risk. The AP says Planned Parenthood and the American Civil Liberties Union say they plan to sue the state to try to block the law's implementation.
Denver may be 1,300 miles away from the Alabama capital, but the new abortion law in that state is impacting Coloradans on both sides of the controversial issue. Here's reporter Joe St. George out of Colorado.
If you've been on any of these social media sites lately, you have likely seen a post about this. Alabama's new abortion law, the most restrictive in the U.S., making it a felony to perform an abortion unless a woman is likely to die during pregnancy or childbirth. Rape is not even covered. Colorado's capital may be 1,300 miles away from Montgomery, but the law making waves here.
So I wanted to kind of use whatever platform I have to let people know that they're not alone.
Denver resident Lisa Catherine is one of the many Coloradans feeling the need to speak up, posting on Facebook, "I was raped, I was impregnated, I had an abortion, I am appalled with Alabama." Lisa telling us she's part of a growing movement of women sharing their abortion experience.
I don't really follow politics. It's not something that I'm into, but this has just enraged me.
Alabama's new law isn't just impacting Colorado's social media feeds.
We've seen a huge surge in volunteers. We've gotten calls, we've gotten emails.
Laura Chapin is an advocate for NARAL, an abortion rights group. She says phones have been ringing off the hook at places like hers and Denver's Planned Parenthood.
There are women with appointments in Alabama now who need help getting access to care.
But if you go to the campus of Colorado Christian University, you realize there are plenty of people on the other side of this, energized by Alabama.
It's a great day for the babies of Alabama.
Jeff Hunt is the director of the Centennial Institute and says for conservatives, this is all about getting a case back to the Supreme Court and perhaps convincing justices to overturn Roe v. Wade.
There's no right to an abortion in the Constitution.
The president of Mississippi's oldest college makes a stop in our area to visit with alumni. Dr. Blake Thompson is the president of Mississippi College in Clinton. He stopped in Tupelo on Thursday for an informal dinner with alumni. Thompson has been president of the college for nearly 1 year. He says there are many great things happening and enjoys letting alumni know how MC is preparing students for life with a biblical worldview.
Well, we think MC plays a special role in higher education, and as the world grows more secular, institutions that are distinctive for their faith mission as well as distinctive for their academics are going to not only survive but thrive, and we're convinced of that. And we're thankful to be at a place where both academics and faith are key components of what we do.
Thompson was vice president at Ohio State University before he took on his position at Mississippi College. Thompson and his wife are both from Alcorn County.
Coming up after the break, we have this week's Mom to Mom. Stay with us.
Welcome back, everyone. Well, it's a known thing that a full baby is a happy baby. Here's this week's Mom to Mom.
Today on Mom to Mom, we're talking about what's on all my new moms' minds out there, breastfeeding. Joining us today is Dr. Young from London Women's Care. Thank you so much for joining us. So breastfeeding is a topic of conversation for all new moms out there. Please fill us in.
Well, so first thing is a happy baby is a fed baby. So whether it's breastfeeding, bottle feeding, pumping and feeding, whichever works best for you and baby is the route to go.
Right.
But there are lots of benefits to breastfeeding, both for mom and for baby. Specifically for baby, they do get the immunity from the breast milk. They get the great antibodies that mom's already producing. For mom, it helps reduce the risk of postpartum depression.
Wow.
Helps with postpartum weight loss, bonding with the baby. It's also cheaper than formula.
A lot cheaper.
It is
a lot cheaper.
Yes. And it also helps reduce risk of ovarian cancer later on in life. There is kind of a learning curve with breastfeeding, so I would recommend to my moms to use the specialists that they have at the hospital after you deliver. Talk to the nurses. There's usually a lactation consultant. Have them come in, have them help you latch with the baby, and just practice. But overall, it's a great option, and I think all moms should at least try it.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much for your time. Always great information coming from London Women's Care. All right, moms, I'll see you all next week.
Mom to Mom is brought to you by Mom to Be on Wilkins Wise Road in Columbus. Your WCBI First Alert AccuWeather forecast with meteorologist Jacob Riley.
Got a beautiful sunset across portions of the area tonight. This picture coming in out of Amory, Mississippi from Dirk Lucas. Special thanks to him. Got this picture with his drone about 300 feet above the ground. A beautiful picture there. And we did have some clouds build in later on today. That was all thanks to this storm system that moved through earlier this morning. As this moved through, it kind of took away the energy that we were expecting to be around as we got into the evening and afternoon hours today. That's why we didn't see a lot of severe weather across our area today, really not even a lot of rain, but that's the reason that we were wrong on that forecast for you today. So apologies there, but this is a very tricky science. Indeed. We do have some showers and storms out west currently moving on into our area. That will continue as you go throughout the overnight hours. They will weaken though, eventually dissipating, but a few of us could sneak in a few showers before all is said and done there. So for the rest of your night, dropping down into the upper 60s, going to keep the clouds around for sure. Maybe some light winds there out of the southwest around 3 to 6 miles an hour. As we go on into your Monday though, things are going to clear up just a little bit as we get into the afternoon hours. Some more peaks of sunshine that could heat the ground just a little bit more, giving us some scattered showers or storms across the area tomorrow afternoon. Same pattern still going to set up there Tuesday as we get some more sunshine across the area. Things will begin to pop. And we do have some stronger storms off to our north and west Tuesday night. That is not going to impact our areas here across northeast Mississippi. Tomorrow is going to be warmer than what we saw today, topping out here in the upper 80s, potentially lower 90s for some of us. So a warm day is in store for us on your Monday. Now, we do have an area of interest out in the Atlantic right now. This area of concern does have a 50% chance of developing into a tropical system within the next 5 days. Hurricane season officially begins on the 1st of June, so we're right there at prime time or at the beginning time of when this usually occurs. We are going to have a high pressure system begin to work its way here into the southeast though. That's going to allow for some much drier conditions and warmer conditions. In fact, up into the middle 90s as we get into this weekend and your Memorial Day. So warmer weather is on the way. Those drier conditions are going to stick around for at least the next 7 days. We'll have sports after the break.
Your WCBI Sports with Courtney Robb.
Well, a lot was on the line this Sunday afternoon in Oxford. Ole Miss dropping Game 1 to Louisiana meant that a super regional berth for the Rebels was on the line. The Rebs not only had to win Game 1, but Game 2 as well if they hope to keep the team's postseason dreams alive. Let's head over to Oxford. Matt Smith said all weekend long that he wanted his team to come out with a big punch. The Rebs did that today. Molly Jacobson throwing flames early on. She finished with a lot today. In the third inning, the Rebels offense went to work, starting with freshman Michaela Alley, a solo blast to get this party started. That was her second home run of her career. Kylan Becker coming in hot in this next up to bat. She would also have a home run and knock it out of the park. Ole Miss with a 2-0 lead, and the Cajuns would have to bring in their relief pitcher. Then Abby Latham gets in on the action. A solo homer makes it 3-zip. And we're still in the third. Kaylee Horton is going to send a bullet to center. She turns on the Jets, makes it all the way to third. And Kelsha Lofton and Autumn Gillespie both crossed the plate. The Rebels scored 5 runs in the third, and they would go on to get the win in Game 1 of the afternoon by that many. And then in Game 2, Ole Miss hoping to advance to a super regional, and we'll see if they're able to pull it off. The pressure on, bottom of the first, Gabby Alvarez knocks one out into right for an RBI single. Kylan Becker able to come home and scores the first run of the game. Same inning, 2 outs. Jessica Puck gets her shot into left field, also sending Autumn Gillespie home. The Rebels leading by 2 at this point in the game. And then in the top of the second, Julie Rawls up to bat for the Cajuns. She sends one deep into center, but Kylan Becker robs her right over the wall of a 2-run homer. That would have tied it all up at 2. And then in the bottom of the third inning, Kaylee Horton at the plate. She gets a single shot to go, and Abby Latham scores run number 3. Ole Miss leading 3-zip. And then in the top of the fourth inning, Brittany Finney on the mound for the Rebels strikes out Lexi Como and sends it to the bottom of the inning, while Louisiana remaining scoreless on the board. ULL able to take the lead. The top of the 7th, they'd be all knotted at 4. Kaylee Horton with the knock to short. Kylan Becker comes into home for the winning run, and that would be the ball game. Ole Miss tops Louisiana 5-4 and advances on to the team's second ever Super Regional. And it was an electric moment for the Ole Miss Rebels with a walk-off. The Rebels not only win the NCAA Oxford Regional, but also earning a spot in the program's second ever Super Regional. The last time Ole Miss made an appearance in a Super Regional was not too long ago, only back in 2017. The win over Louisiana was the third straight elimination game Ole Miss has won over the weekend. Head coach Mike Smith said that the end of the game all came down to doing its job.
I had to finally do some coaching and kind of figure out, okay, how am I going to scratch away one, or do we want to try to get two here? In my mind, I was like, if we can tie this thing up, I'll take our chances in extra innings. And these girls just had that never say die attitude, and things worked out. And the unorthodox people came up to the plate in the right time for us, and they stepped up and executed the things that we needed them to do. And
everybody came out and said all these negative things about it, and I was kind of like, whoa, like that's not how I expected anybody to react. And, you know, coming out and losing early in the series, I think a lot of people were kind of like, haha, I told you so, and I think we finally got the last laugh.
Mississippi State having a tough time over in the Seattle Regional this evening. Currently, the Bulldogs are battling the Washington Huskies and haven't been able to find a ton of production on offense. The Huskies, with a couple of home runs to send 5 of its own into home, and had a 7-0 lead come the end of the 6th inning, currently leading 8-0 in the bottom of the 7th. I believe we'll have more updates for you coming on WCBI News for Sunrise. Well, with the end of the regular season for baseball, the 2019 SEC Baseball Tournament quickly approaches. I have more information on the tournament coming up after the break. Stay with us. Here's a look at your lineup in the 2019 SEC Tournament for the Magnolia State teams. First up to bat, Ole Miss, earning the 7th seed in the tourney. They'll be facing off against Missouri. That game in the afternoon on Tuesday. The reigning champs will try to defend their title. And the Bulldogs won't see any action until late Wednesday. State will play either South Carolina or LSU. All games in the tournament can be watched throughout the week on the SEC Network. And what better way to end the week than with some Major League Baseball scores? The Cardinals fall to the Rangers 5-4 in that game. Also, Atlanta having a tough time against the Brewers as well. They don't get the win in that one. Brewers come out victorious 3-2. But the Cubs do come out on top in a away game against the one and only. Who did the Cubs play? They ended up playing. We're not sure because, unfortunately, our graphic systems aren't working. But that's it for sports. The last look at your weather is coming up after the break. Stay with us.
We've got a few showers out there tonight. We could see a few more redevelop as we move on into Monday afternoon and Tuesday afternoon as well. But after that, we're looking at beautiful conditions. High pressure is going to set in, bring in some more sunshine, less clouds, less rain, but warmer temperatures. We're going to see those highs warm back up into the middle 90s by your Memorial Day weekend. And Memorial Day could be even the middle to maybe upper 90s. So it's getting hot.
Definitely feeling like summer.
Yes. What about the humidity? Or can we expect that?
Mississippi, you're going to have the humidity.
Born and raised here, still can't get used to it. And y'all have a great week. We'll see you back here tomorrow night.